I'm going to show you guys when chess stops making sense, or when at least you can break the rules of chess. In this game, I'm playing against a 2200 player, about the same rating as myself. And here you see he moves the same piece twice. I always say don't do that. This is a mistake, however. So this is not great, but he has, his own system. He's, playing into his system. I'm playing a5 here. I'm just stopping him from playing b4. If I take, he can't take because he'll lose his rook. So he brings his knight into the game, and I develop my bishop. Now, I develop my bishop with tempo. Again, if he plays like something like this, I'm going to play h6. And whether he brings his knight back to f6 or h6, I'm going to mess up his pawn structure and start attacking, and I already have a one game. Since he's 2200, though, he's not going to let me play that. So after I develop my bishop and attack his queen, he just defends like I thought he would, and now I trade the bishops. I kick his knight out, and then I bring my knight back. So as you can see now, and this is why chess stops making sense around this rating, is I move my same piece twice in the opening. But again, I have a reason for it. The game's slowed down. It's not a quick tempoed game. I'm already castled. My king is safe. And my idea is to play f5 and fight for the center. So he plays b3, and his idea is to get his bishop into the game. And now I play f5. He ignores it, and now I just continue pushing. If I take, remember, I'm going to bring his pieces into the game, give him good squares to work with, and that's not really ideal for me. So instead, I just take more space. So now he plays a4, which gives up a hole in the position. It grabs a bind on this square, but the thing is, this square isn't very important. So I was confused of why he played a4 there. I play king h7. Now, this should be a tell that I'm getting to launch my pawns. And here's another thing that doesn't make any sense, or that I'm just breaking the rules. Usually, you don't launch your pawns at your opponent's king if you're castled on the same side of the board, because that weakens your king in itself. However, there's a couple reasons why I'm doing that here. And I play g5. And why am I weakening my king? Well, I'm really going for an attack. My pawn's already on f4. This pawn's going to join in the attack, and I'm going to push forward and attack the king. Notice how I moved my king off the open g file first before I did that. That's for two reasons. For safety, now my king's not going to be on an open file, plus my rook's going to be on that open file. Third, and arguably most importantly, of why I could start pushing the pawns up in front of my king is because we have a closed position. The center of the board is closed. Therefore, it's harder for the pieces to get on the other side of this whole center, the wall, and it's hard. It's a slower paced game. It's not as an attacking style game, at least in this sense of breaking open the center, and it leads to it enables you to execute more flank attacks, which this is. So he brings his pawn back, and now I just push the pawn. And now I had a better position. I should have just been a little bit more patient here and played something like maybe, I don't know, a waiting move and brought the knight in first and then pushed. But I push and he takes the pawn, which is the best move. But my idea was to open up the G file. So now the G file is permanently open. Now I don't have to take it over right away. And if I take it over right away, actually, he moves out of the way, calls check. That's extremely annoying. And I don't want that to happen. So before I just go forward and take away the file, I first play knight d4. Now, the knight there on d4 is good, but also it's protecting f5, so he has no check. So now when I come here, again, he can't come here and harass my king. So he comes back. I take over the g file now, and he brings his knight to e2. Now, I play f3 here, which is the best move. Now I'm attacking the knight, and I'm also threatening to take. At some point, his knight is here, but I can just take with the pawn. He takes here. Now, I thought he was going to bring his knight here for a second, and that would also be a good move. I think that's the best move, actually. But he takes right here, which is an inaccuracy. I throw in this in-between move, so now I'm attacking his rook with check because I would queen. He takes back, I take back, and he brings his queen into the game. So now material is roughly even. Maybe I'm down a pawn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm down a pawn, but I have an open G file and a really strong attack. You can argue he has an open G file. The difference is his king is on that file and his rook isn't. My king is off the file and my rook is, so I have the attack, he doesn't. So the open G file, in other words, is a vulnerability for him and an asset for me, at least at the time right now. So I bring my queen in. Why do I do that? I want to double my rooks and start attacking, but he is going to throw in some annoying checks or some annoying checks here. So first of all, I just stop that. No big deal. He plays arguably one of the worst moves I've seen in a long time. No offense to him. He's a really strong player. I cannot, for the life of me, figure out this move. It's actually a blunder. The computer can't figure it out either. So I don't know what he was thinking. But in a position like this where there's so much going on, and the king is the most important part of chess, and his king is under attack, and potentially my king could be under attack, you don't want to make a really slow move like this, which doesn't do anything. It protects a bishop that's not being attacked. It's not bringing his rook into the game, at least anytime soon. And I didn't really understand it unless he wanted to push, move the bishop, and then move the knight and bring the rook over here at some point. But it's like way too slow. That's like way too slow. So I'm really not sure. So I attack his rook, his queen, and I'm preparing to double my rook. So I'm moving the rook up so I can bring this rook over. But if I move the rook up, I'm not going to do it in a slow way where he can make any move he wants. I'm going to do it in the most fast-paced way, the most forcing way possible. So I hit a tempo. So after he moves his queen, forcing him to move his queen, now I get another free move. And now I quickly develop my rooks and double my rooks on the open G file. Now I'm attacking check, winning the knight. And there's nothing he can really do about it. He throws in an in-between move. I go rook G to this rook to G7 and block. And now he just goes back. So he really had nothing to do here. So I go ahead and take the knight here. He takes back. And now I took with the rook, which is good. However, oh no, it is good. That's the best move. So I took here. He takes back. And I throw in a check and take this pawn. So now I'm completely winning. I'm up like almost 5 points of material according to the computer. I mean, the rooks are equal to a queen, and the bishops are obviously equal. But it's the fact that I have the queen on a king that's weak, that's exposed. I also have a passed pawn, and his pieces are not coordinated. I'm completely winning here. Okay, so now my idea is to push the passed pawn for two reasons. I want a queen, and also I want to attack this pinned piece. So I go ahead and start doing that. So I'm moving my queen out of the way of the passed pawn, and I start attacking the bishop. Now, I was expecting this move, to be honest, and then I was going to throw in I guess I was going to throw in a check, and after something like this, I was, I guess, going to take and just move out of the way and take these pawns. But what happened is my opponent didn't want to play like that. And usually good players don't want to play at the mercy of, the position. They want to, they'll give up material to have some sort of counterplay. And that's what he did. He took the bishop and gave me his rook. And then he moved his king out of the way, the same thing as I did. So this is kind of symmetrical, funny position here, just to get a rook on an open file. And then after I took this pawn, he puts his rook on an open file. Now, I know from playing chess for so long that he's setting up a position, a perpetual check with a discovery. So in other words, if I play a random move here, he's setting up check, I come here, and now he can just go back and forth all day. I can never come here, and he can just perpetual check. I know that, but here I decided to take this pawn, which forces a draw. And the reason why I didn't think it was a draw, it was, first of all, I was kind of in time trouble. I have 4 minutes left, but I'm attacking the bishop. So if he does something like this check and tries to come back, I just win the bishop and it doesn't work. Also, if he tries to get really greedy and go for my queen, check, I don't just move out of the way and lose my queen. I just get out of check and take his bishop and win the game. However, I didn't see that he has the move bishop f6. And bishop f6 is very annoying because now I'm not attacking his bishop anymore, and he's threatening the same perpetual check. So I do this again. Again, now I'm hitting his bishop again. Again, if he plays something like check, perpetual check, I just take the bishop, and that's it. Even if he played something like this, which I was hoping he would do, I would take the bishop, sacrifice my queen, and then push the pawn, and I'm going to get a new queen, and there's no way he can access that square in time and get my queen. So I thought, hey, there's a good chance I was still going to win here, but he just pulled his bishop back, and there's nothing for me to do. If I attempt to grab his bishop, he's still just going to come back here. And here I just push my pawn, hoping that he would like take or something. Obviously, that's losing. Or maybe try to go for my queen or something. In that case, I would just go king g8, and after it takes, I would queen again. And now I got another chance to win the game. However, my opponent's too strong. He just came back and did the perpetual check here, and back and forth. And the game ended in a draw, and I blew a winning game by getting a little too greedy or a little too fancy. Anyway, that is 2200 chess in a nutshell. A lot of times we bend the rules because we're thinking we're adding other factors into the game that maybe some unexperienced players aren't seeing. Anyway, if you liked that video, hopefully you did, check out this one, and I'll catch you guys next time. Go play some chess.